What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Considering the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So if it's OU related, college football related, sports related, we have a good time.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
Mama with the $50 super chat. I feel like we can win this game. What you think Lincoln, Ruffin, and Beadenbow need to do during this break to get the team ready? I think a lot of it is going to be Mama. I think a lot of it is going to be about what they did in the week of OU Texas Part Doe to prepare for the Big 12 title game. He shut down communications for the most part. They gave media access on the Monday presser day where they usually have players come in. Some of them go to the podium. Some of them go around a little table. They put out the microphones. They ask them questions. You get stories for the week, and then you learn Lincoln talk. And then you go on about your day. And usually you have post-practice media interviews on a Monday and Tuesday. And then you might be able to meet with Lincoln on a Wednesday. Lincoln shut all that down. Lincoln said, no, Monday's it. After that, we're going to silo off. And we're going to make sure that we know how to do what we know how to do. We're not going to listen to the noise. We're going to play some ball. I think if they do that, when they start practice for real, getting ready to go down there to Miami, they're going to be okay. Because all of those guys know how to coach. Okay? Ruffin is going to try to put together something. And I think a big deal was making the decision to take Buki off the field and put Caleb Kelly back on it. Running a modified 3-4, 4-3, depending on how you want to look at it, at Texas and saying, we're going to line this linebacker up over a slot receiver and we're going to take what we get. Which ended up working. I hated seeing Caleb Kelly matched up against LJ Humphrey in the slot. About pulled my hair out. But it is what they chose to do rather than running different personnel onto the field. I think if they pick a defense and a scheme, they'll be better off for it just as they were against Texas, right? I also think that Lincoln is going to dial some stuff up, Mom, like he always does, right? He's going to be ready to take on this Alabama defense and attack the weaknesses because he has tools to attack it any way he wants. Can run the ball, he can pass, he can use Kyler. When Texas shut down the run game, they said, okay, let's put the ball in Kyler Murray's hands. And that doesn't just mean passing. He brought some QB draws just to get the offense going and shake Texas up a little bit, right? So I think all of those things take into account. Bill Beadenbow has a lot to say about what they run as far as scheming the run game. So I think he's also going to try to figure out how to pick apart that defensive line and those group of linebackers. But we do know is that he has the best offensive line in football, and he's going to use it. Those boys were flat out bullies against Texas. Poor Brecken Hager. My goodness, that dude not only had a bad day on the field where it felt like every offensive lineman playing for Oklahoma took an opportunity to put him on his back and just destroy him. Then the man deleted his Twitter account because I'm sure there's lots of folks that reminded him you don't get to cut your hair. For those of you that don't know, Brecken Hager is the guy who said, I'm not going to cut my hair until Texas wins the Big 12 title. His hair is very long now. It's very long. There's lots of folks that call him Goldilocks or Pippi Longstockings or whatever. But clearly he was mad and he was upset and he's a kid and he's been token at Oklahoma all along. So it ain't like he's not getting what he gave. You know, as we say, you reap what you sow. But still a kid. I still kind of feel for him because he did lose the game. And apparently he hurt himself after the game. I don't know how. I just know that he got his hand cut after the game. I hope he wasn't doing something stupid like punching a piece of glass. I don't know. I just hope that wasn't it. I hope that somebody gets to the kid and makes him better so that he can get into the Sugar Bowl and have a shot at beating Georgia. So that's where we're at with that, Mom. I don't have a question. Just wanted to say that I'm tired of the hate on OU. Most people who aren't OU fans say that Bama will win by a lot. Yeah, and I can't fault them there, Rachel. I can't. I understand that there's a lot of folks that just don't like Oklahoma because it's Oklahoma, because it feels to them like you only field half a team. It feels to them like it's just the offense and that the defense is non-existent. But those are also folks who haven't been paying attention to Oklahoma over the past 3 games, right? So, yes, you give up 40 to Kansas, and it's Kansas. It ain't great, right? But you also had the defense show up in a game where if they didn't show up, West Virginia, you lose that game. Got 12 points out of the defense in a 3-point win. It matters, right? So if the defense ain't playing, you don't score those points. So it's not as if they just field half a team there. Yes, they give up 704 yards, but those 12 points mean more than 700 yards. You get what I'm saying? Other part about that is look, nobody expects anything out of the defense. And I think the defense feels that. And I think they've been feeding off of it, at least for the last 2 games. And I think Ruffin McNeil is being the guy that they need him to be. He's cool, calm, and collected. He's not eating anybody's lunch. He's taking the L's and he's taking the wins and saying, we won the game. Let's keep it moving. Now, that's not what fans want to hear. Fans want to see him upset and make a ruckus and talk about how bad he is as a play caller. He could do that, but it also ain't going to change that they won the game. So the other part about it is not a lot of folks think that the offense is good enough to keep up with Bama defensively, and there's reason to believe that as well. Bama's defensive line and their linebackers, the front 7 in particular, that's a problem. That's a problem. Quentin Miller, defensive tackle, that dude can go. All right? Like, they got some guys out there that are absolute monsters in that you can usually find them big. You can usually find them fast. You usually can't find them big and fast. So the game offensively for Oklahoma is, do they have enough sideline-to-sideline speed to catch Kyler Murray when he leaves the pocket? And I'm not saying that they do. I'm just saying that if they don't, the only other team that gets to say anything like that is, can they keep up, is Clemson. And what it's going to be about is angles, right? It's about, can you take a good angle to go get Kyler Murray or force him to sit down? I don't know that they can do that. But I also understand that this is the best Alabama team Nick Saban's ever fielded. It's really, 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 really good. Problem with that is, when they expect to roll over people, they don't play very well. And that's why Nick Saban's famous for the whole rat poison thing. And why earlier in the season he said, I need you guys to start writing some critical things about my players and about my team, because they're starting to believe you when you tell them that they're the best team that ever played football. It's because it's true. Just categorically, offensively, defensively, what they're able to do. They were the first team in 130 years to win their first 12 games by 20 or more points. They're really, really good. But they also play really, really bad when they're expected to win. And Oklahoma ain't no easy win, dog. Oklahoma's going to score. It's about, can you outscore them? So I get you, Rachel. I understand. But they're right to believe what they believe if they haven't watched Oklahoma. And there ain't a lot of people that do watch Oklahoma. I'm going to tell you how it is. Okay? Local folks watch their local teams. So, for instance, folks that live in the Columbus, Ohio area or grow up watching Ohio State or have Ohio State as their team know more about Ohio State than they do any other team. So when they start talking out of their rear end about other teams that they haven't researched, that they haven't watched tape of, that they haven't followed throughout the year, they sound kind of stupid. Okay? It's just the way it is. SEC folks think highly of the SEC because they watch it every weekend. Same thing with Big 12 fans, same thing with Pac-12 fans, same thing with ACC, same thing with the Big 10, okay? I watch Oklahoma religiously. We know this, but I also care quite a bit about college football at large because it affects Oklahoma. It all matters. So I need to know what they're doing at Missouri. I need to know what they're doing at Texas. I need to know what they're doing at Florida. I need to DVR games. I need to rewatch them. I need to read the stories that come from The Athletic, from Sports Illustrated, from local newspapers. But I also am built for that, right? It's kind of just what I do normally. So take that when you're talking about Feinbaum, when you're talking about whatever sportscaster or whatever sports radio host you feel doesn't know what he's talking about. It's because he probably doesn't. But also, there's only so much time in the day, and your market is your market. So try to read between the lines on what those folks are saying, know where their biases are, and then take that into account, right? It's not that Kirk Herbstreit is stupid. He's not, right? It's that the man watches college football at large, and he's an Ohio State fan because he played at Ohio State. That's the way it is. He also believes the world of Alabama because he's watched a lot of Alabama. He's watched a lot of Georgia. He watched a lot of Clemson. There hadn't been a whole lot of tastes for him to watch Oklahoma play football. And everybody has to read, or when he watched the highlights later and say, yeah, the offense is good, but the defense is getting torched. All right, now what? What do you know about Kenneth Murray Jr. and how he goes sideline to sideline? What do you know about Curtis Bolton and how he's evolved into the soul of the defense? What do you know about Drew Samia and how he is projected to be the best offensive lineman Oklahoma puts in the NFL draft? And we're really good offensive line. What do you know about a prodigy that is Creed Humphrey? What do you know about Hollywood Brown and the way that he's made himself into a better route runner as opposed to just, I can outrun people? These are all things that matter, and they're not all the things that a lot of folks know. So just know that going in. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Deuces.